Hi everyone. I'm going to do a bit of a summary for the last week. A lot has happened, and there's a few things that need to be said. Last week we went down and we done a clean up, a few people, of the toilet blocks in Karatepe, and we cleaned half of the site, which, thank you to everyone that helped. It was great, and a lot of the refugees mucked in. The reason they never cleaned the site before the refugees is, personally, they never had the materials to do it, and then the bins wasn't there before, and rubbish just built up on rubbish. So that was interesting. The UNHCR, if people have been watching my blogs, you can see it's a big publicity thing for them to be here. They've caused more damage here than anyone, because everyone thought the UNHCR was in here. And they were here taking photo shoots and enjoying the Greek food, but that's all they were doing. They've been watching these people suffer month in and month out. They've been watching starving people. They've been watching what I've been watching month in and month out, and it's been absolutely disgusting what the UNHCR have been doing. They're here on photo shoots. They're here so they can put it out there and make a lot of money. But they're not putting anything back in. That's wrong. Terribly wrong. You disgust me. You're meant to be the top aid agency in the world, and what you've done here, you've made people suffer big time. Absolutely big time. You absolutely disgust me. That should never ever happen anywhere in the world. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I've been watching you, I've seen you, and people have been talking about you all these months, and you've done absolutely nothing except a few sleeping bags and some hygiene kits, which was mostly donated to you. All you've been doing is doing a bloody money thing. You've been publicising yourself and everything else to make money. You disgust me. There's people suffering here, and you've been watching them suffer, and you haven't done anything to help them. As an aid agency, you're terrible. Unbelievable. And you stopped everyone else coming in here because everyone else thought you were in here doing some work, and you wasn't. Right, that needed to be said, because these people I've watched and watched and watched, and they're doing absolutely nothing. They're watching volunteers do things where they're eating fish dinners and drinking wine and everything else. They come in and do a publicity shoot after we cleaned up the site the other day. They brought their own cameraman and got the refugees in the background. They don't help. They don't do nothing. Disgusting. You're disgusting people. People like you should be taken to court, personally. You're taking money under false pretenses. Right. We've had a lot of boats coming and going over the weeks. Tons and tons of boats. We've done our best. We've helped everyone we can. We've had a tremendous support from individuals. A tremendous support. Both verbally and people sending us stuff, and sending stuff to the Molivos Refugee Society. From Denmark. Denmark has been absolutely terrific. I mean, fair play to you. You've been brilliant. The amount of stuff you're sending, the amount of things you're doing, absolutely great, And the Netherlands the same, there's many places, but Denmark has stood out above everyone for some reason. I don't know why, but they really, really have gathered together, and they're really trying to help and do what they can. A lot of other countries, Norway and Netherlands and France and people like that, are doing their best. But Denmark is hit the top. Fair play to you. Thank you very much. We're getting help from all around the world. We're getting help from America, people sending survival blankets and things like that, and from Australia. And, people are really gathering together and trying to help us here. And we really do need help, and as I said before, this shouldn't be a Greek problem. This is a world problem, and definitely a European problem, because Greece is in Europe, believe it or not. You wouldn't believe that, the way the European governments have treated Greece over the refugee situation. You really wouldn't believe it, because, they're not trying to help us in any way, Frontex, Norway Frontex arrived yesterday. I haven't seen them out here today. I don't know when they officially start, but they did help us a bit yesterday. Okay, now, I really do love Greece, believe it or not, I do. That's why I'm living here, and that's why I brought my daughter up here. And the Greek people have a great heart. But in all walks of society, you have good and bad, and we have our bad ones here also. I see a documentary that was shown right around America on the Moria camp. It went out, it was Malcolm Brambant, correspondent, cameraman. Anyway, he was down at Moria camp, and you couldn't actually see what was happening, but you could hear it. He had these microphones on, and you could hear people hitting people with sticks. And you can hear him shouting, "Get the effing up," whack, whack, and you can hear the sticks laying in to refugees. And you can hear the refugees screaming. Anyone can look at this site thing. It's on Facebook. As I say, there's good and bad in everyone, and we have our bad here. And these people that are doing these bad things to the refugees, your day will come. You'll come because we'll find you, and it will come. Yeah, there is no reason to be abusive to women, children, men, or anything that are fleeing a war zone. And to whip them with sticks is very, very wrong. Now, when I see that, I was absolutely disgusted. Absolutely. This is not the Greek way. And as I said, there's good and bad in every society. And during this situation, we've had a lot of bad people poke their nose up, i.e. the people running Molivos. And people say to me, "Eric, why don't you praise up Molivos?" Molivos is a fantastic place. It's very, very beautiful. The people in the town are very nice people. I know a lot of nice people here, believe it or not. But the leadership of this town has made a lot of bad mistakes. And some of the things they've said about the refugees, which were pure lies, and some of the things they put in our ways and still putting in our ways is wrong. These people should be leading the town forward. This situation is not going to go away. It's going to happen year in, year out, and it's going to get worse and worse until the Syrian crisis is solved. Yeah? And believe it or not, you people up in charge there, you cannot keep lying and you cannot keep blocking this. It doesn't work. You should take control and lead this town the proper way, instead of leading it the wrong way and blaming everyone else for your bad leadership. Yeah? There's some beautiful people in this town, but everyone is frightened of these people on top. And you shouldn't be. Because they shouldn't be on top. Yeah? They're not humanitarians. Yeah? And some of the things they said is very wrong and is lies. Yeah. Anyway, that's something for the town to sort out. You've got to stop these people. Otherwise, you can see what's happening now. I said it months ago, they're going to destroy tourism completely. And it's happening. Okay, the economic crisis has an effect as well. But I know, and I've heard people come through on my Facebook, and these are people that have been coming here for years, and they didn't know what was going on here. And now they can see the truth. And they never come back again. Now that's not our fault by giving people water and food and trying to look after them. That's the leadership fault of this town for the way they've been treating them, the refugees. And by completely putting brick walls in our way, not giving the refugees the slightest bit of hygiene, blaming the refugees and the people helping the refugees for everything, and sitting back and doing absolutely nothing themselves. These people ruling this town that's done this over the last 5 months, believe me, you have destroyed tourism here. I told you 2 months ago it happened, and now it's happening. The economic crisis has the biggest effect. But we don't want to lose our regular tourists. And that's what you're doing. You're losing our regular tourists. And now I've been told, whether it's a rumour or not, one of the big tour operators is not coming back next year either. The town itself has to do something, believe it or not. And they've got to change right the way round, like every other place has done. This is the last place. And it's down to you people running this town that have done this. Right, the other thing I have to say, I was very upset. When I said to you last Friday that we had 9 boats in, we did have 9 boats in, but only 4 made it. And 5 were sunk at sea, went down at sea. At the time I'm looking from a distance I was up on the hill where I normally am, and I see one boat was in desperate situations. I could see that, but the other boats were all moving. Then a small boat came along, a grey small boat, and it went to that boat first. It didn't help the people in the water at the time. It shot off to another boat moving. Then it went to another boat, then another boat, then the fifth boat. And then our Coast Guard came out, and the Coast Guard from Mytilene, where this small boat came from, came out. I thought all those boats, broken down in the water. There was one or two people falling in the water, and they had to pick it up, and it was a bit messy. Anyway, today I wasn't on the hill. I was another 5 kilometers over. And I was standing under trees with a load of international journalists. And the same thing happened, but this time there were no boats in trouble. And this little grey boat came off the big Coast Guard boat from Mytilene, and it went to a boat right in front of the world's journalists and myself and disabled the engine. From there, it went to another boat and disabled that engine. Not only disabling the engines, the guy on the front of this small grey boat had a massive stick in his hand, and he was hitting the refugees who were around the engine so he could disable it as the grey boat pulled up behind the refugee boats. Then he shot right the way across, about 2 kilometers out, went to another boat, exactly the same, disabled the engine. He left this boat right in the middle with all the two he'd done before, went to a fourth boat, and disabled the engine. Then he went to a fifth boat and disabled the engine. The Greek Coast Guard, the large one from Mytilene, went to the first boat and he's picking them up. Now, there's two sides to this. I mean, one, I agree, if we can pick them up at sea, then pick them up at sea. It saves them a walk to Mytilene. This 65 kilometre walk is killing everyone, and it's destroying tourism throughout Greece. But hitting people with sticks, disabling engines, especially the third engine he's disabled, our boys got out to him from Molivos about 25-30 minutes later. In 25 or 30 minutes there was a couple of people in the water I could see, but that boat could have sunk and people could have drowned. That was wrong. I agree, if we can pick them up at water in the sea one at a time, do it. But to disable 5 boats like that and put everyone in danger was wrong. And the other thing that was very wrong, the fifth boat, he dragged back beyond the line. Now, I don't know whether this is illegal or not, but this small boat took it back and it disabled the engine, and we were watching it after the small boat left it, and it was within Turkish waters then. I don't know what the policy is or what the change of policy is. I agree, if we can pick them up in the water and take them down by boat, I think that is absolutely fantastic, and I think that's courageous. And as I said, there's good and bad in all societies. But I think hitting people with sticks so you can disable an engine on a boat, then leaving the boat stranded in the water, is disgusting. It's wrong. I can't see this government giving permission for that. I may be wrong, but I can't see that happening. Now, this was done in front of the world press. I was in two minds. I didn't know what to do about this, because this is just wrong and totally. But there are bad and good individuals, as I say. And these people that done this, I'm sure there should be an inquiry over this. And if someone in authority stepped out of line, then they should be punished for it. This is not good for Greece. When you have the world press standing there filming this. You know, this is very, very wrong. I'm hoping it's just a few individuals that are overstepping their boundaries. And it is not government policy to do what happened out there. A lot of people could have lost their lives out there this morning. Lucky they didn't. And as for hitting people with sticks, that's wrong. These people have come out of a war zone. They're in shock. They're suffering. When you're whacking these people with sticks that are trying on the back end of these boats, and all the children and women are sitting there watching it, what the hell do you think they think? What the hell do you think they're going through their mind when they see their fathers and brothers as being hit with sticks? Would you like your fathers and brothers hit with sticks like that? That's wrong. These are human beings. Treat them like human beings. Okay, this has to be said. And I really hope it's just a few individuals, and I really hope these few individuals are taken to task over this one. You know? The thing I see at Moria on the Facebook, you can put in Malcolm Brabant, Moria, Lesbos, and you will see this one. And it's right at the end when you can hear them hitting the refugees with sticks. This should never happen. This is wrong. You know, these people have suffered enough, and they don't need to come here to be bullied by bully boys and hit with sticks in any situation. It's very, very wrong. And it should never happen. We're in Greece. Yeah. This needs stopping now. These are refugees from a war zone. It is a bad situation, but if we all pull together, you know, Europe needs to be in there. We're part of Europe. Greece is part of Europe, and Europe needs to be in there helping us. The situation has got 10 times worse because of the UNHCR and the way they've made these refugees suffer, and the European governments for not helping Greece more. But there's no need for us to be bully boys. No need at all. You know, Greek people have big hearts, as I've said before. We have good and bad. So let's try to be good and change this situation round. You know, there's no need for it. These are human beings. And for those people whacking them with sticks, how do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night hitting people from a war zone that have lost their families, lost their brothers and sisters, lost their babies, been injured themselves, and here you are whacking them with sticks? It's wrong. It needs to stop it. Yeah? Or the government needs to come in and stop it. There needs to be an inquiry. Okay, this has to be said. You know, if we can't stop this, then Greece is going down the wrong path, definitely. And the Greek people are not like this. Yeah, we've got a lot of problems, and we can solve the problems. But we don't solve them from bullying. Okay. Bye, everyone.